Thank you so much, Sierra. This has been a banger of a series so far. Haven was tied 9-9 until the last four rounds happened and Sleepers took over the server. So I'm really excited for Bind Zobi, especially with these comps. So yeah, going into Bind, this Sleepers team, they're a little bit allergic to that brimstone, but man, do we love Salada on Clove and this Sleeper stack encroaching on Giza, who's hoping to put up more of a stand and play safer than ever before. Now, Shondex by his side. After that MVP performance, surely they could do something. And it's Leo that carves his name into Ren's first. And it's an all-out brawl just to establish. And now, lingering. He's at 13 HP. He's already been tagged through the smoke. And he decides to fall back. Maybe Cloric could be the front line here. Sleepers still have to plant Sorix on watch. And man, Sleepers are just one step ahead of all these engagements, Zobi.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you're going to get a lot of NRG Academy receiving and having to deal with this Sleepers aggression. They are going to go a lot. They're just going to rough you up. And honestly, something I wanted to mention before was, I don't know about this composition change either. I was excited to see the Deadlock finally shut down some of these entries from players like Leo, and without that, I'm not sure what their win condition's going to be. Here, for example, fighting back out of showers. Obviously, when you have deep base control like Sleepers had, they can just pivot on a dime and handle it. Now coming into the next, I mean, whew, I like the toxic screen. I like what we could see outside of Belong, but also Sleepers looked ready for it, and now the TP was called a bit too early.
This double duelist is something we're more used to when it comes to Sleepers. Like Tanza dropping 20 kills on the Sentinel, and now he's like, put me on the duelist. I'm already fragging like one. Oh, Giza is being gatekept girl boss by Sorix, though. So they're going to have a bit of a staring contest while Sleepers scale up behind Tanza.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're convinced that there was two players. So Sorix thinks one's tucked away in TP, but they're concerned with a minute counting on the clock as they get onto the site itself. So curious to see if Giza will have a late round impact. But for now, with Spike being planted and ideally the call coming through, NRG Academy begin the rotation all the way over.
Man, maybe it's Giza living in Sorix's brain rent free, and maybe it's like, well, he's not been there for that long, right? Like it's not that, but here comes the follow-up, the retake through the top, looking towards Cloric. Can you have a nice lineup to maybe get some info here? But you're maybe just going down with the ship, not trying to give up any orbs. I'm more used to NRG Academy trying to take a fight where they can, but now you got to give a lot of respect to Sleepers after how Haven broke down. Duck is gonna test the waters, look both ways before he crosses, and holy, they've just annihilated NRG Academy and farmed those orbs.
And of course, Sorix still gets the kill on Giza after he finally leaves the TP trying to die to the spike. That's just the cherry on top. But we cannot understate the importance of Duck being the one to get so many of those exit kills, right? 2 off from the Nightfall, coming in to the bonus round with a Phantom in hand as well. Is I think it'll really set them up for a decent execution if they play some Ult Orb Gathering Simulator, at least from the start, which I think is where NRG Academy in this plan between Shondex and Giza to fight for shower control should come in clutch. But we'll see if Sleepers are going to let that happen so easily.
And Duck could really use that ult. They're just bouncing through the smoke. NRG Academy, they just got to tuck away. And Sleepers, they'll take the space, but can they hold it? Maybe it'll just be the orb for now, and they can take the TP and follow up with Duck, who has quickly flipped the map. No TP, actually. He'll take the long route.
He a winning this would be huge, because not just does he get the orb from the kill, but then he would get the one in showers. So I'm surprised that with that early presence, they didn't take that, but time being, this feels like a fake out, and obviously NRG Academy haven't budged an inch, especially with NRG getting that early kill. They know they've made the correct call to stack here for the time being.
And the fact that they still want to go B after Sorgs died in Hookah, and now Solana. They want revenge, and Leo will sign his name. Chloric has fallen. NRG Academy still linger, and it's Ange is currently still watching Hookah. Shondex watching the entry. Sleepers disrespecting the wall. Duck 1v4. Not gonna happen, man. Ange, the ultimate anchor for this team.
Wow, and in the back of my head, alongside the possible deadlock pick, I was expecting NRG Academy and just their ability as individuals to anchor sites to be some, I guess, uncomfortable kind of dynamic to handle for the side of Sleepers. And Leo charging with the Bucky, I completely foresaw coming, and he still gets one, which is crazy and just proves that he's gonna get one every single round he does that. But if they can't get past Ange, if they can't go for these dual avenue takes instead of taking by one avenue, re-clearing the other later, I think they're gonna have issues up against NRG on this attack half.
Chlorg, Prowler, already pings one. Back to default positions. Renz just wants to add to this equation after how overwhelming Sleepers were. Nightfall at the ready. Oh wait, you still also have Tonza. I guess he can gate, no, not can't gate crash over anymore. Is NRG Academy peeking and taking a fight? Outnumbered? They're gonna just hold their positions.
Smoke's down.
Less than a minute left. Yeah, it is just a mass fake to get back into the A side. They were scared. They're shook by Ange last round. They'd rather go to their tried and true. Good clearance of Nightfall into this close corner as well. They're just trusting that they can handle it while Leo takes the dive. And there's some retaliation from Heaven with Shondex still alive, but the site should fall.
Right here.
Shondex playing as safe as he can, creating a threat level. And oh, that ping through the box. Shondex benefits a huge setup from Chloric. And this guy's unstoppable. Just like that, he pulls off a 4K in the blink of an eye, and NRG Academy tie the game.
Wow. And we were curious how this composition was going to go, right? Last time they played Blind, it was actually Renz reprising the duelist role with the Waylay instead. And now that they've switched Shondex back to it, it's looking really nice. 6-2, what's kind of allowed NRG Academy to stabilize after a pretty decent fake out from Sleepers, and now they're the ones a little bit broken of a bye. I'm expecting just another kind of all-in A exec when you have two Buckies on your side and a Waylay, but we'll see where they take these short-range weapons when we go back into the round.
NRG Academy haven't been proactive in these fights, but imagine off of a convergent paths what kind of trouble you could really cause. So Shondex definitely feeling himself. There's that dive you're talking about, but slips behind those defenses through the smoke. The Bucky can hurt close range, but Shondex will still find his target. And Giza falls around Showers and through the Prowler, through the fire and the flames. NRG Academy, they trip up Sleepers on their walk-in. They have the better weapons, so Sleepers were going for a Hail Mary here nonetheless.
Spike down A.
So it seems like an easy round. Not perfect, but easy.
Gun here.
Yeah. And if we as casters could read like what map we thought Sleepers were going to pick, I think NRG Academy have. And that round to me, I think is the first one that kind of sold that NRG Academy knows exactly what Sleepers A take, especially on ecos, look like, right? In that Alliance Guardians game, there was one round where there's like 3 players with better weapons stacked right outside of U-Haul, and that exact play comes through, right? Where Leo gets behind them with a Bucky, they have the entire force of their team ahead of them, and they get absolutely crunched and thriftied. So instead, what does NRG Academy do? They have 2, 3 players stacked triple and shower side and fight back into it perfectly before Sleepers get through their protocol, clearing out all U-Haul, and then shift their focus to showers and clear that out before the spike goes down. So I think that's exactly why this timeout has come through, is because their playbook has been copied, has been antied, and they need to come up with some new things on the fly with Coach Hu.
And Renz has gotten up going this round. He's been sort of trying to flex between both sites, gate crashing where needed. This could really help supplement either side of the map. So Sleepers, it's been a lot behind these pushes of Duck's Prowlers, usually encountering Chlorics, at least if it's through B long. But Sleepers have been trying to default and, you know, have these 3-2 split ups or whatever. And trying to really go for the best option and not just rush in unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm not sure if sleepers have been pushed enough on this map to have that bounce back, and that's why the coach got involved. So we'll see what it looks like when they do slow things down. Looks like the idea was for Sorix to open up the B site late while they faked this A pressure off the lurk wall, but if you're getting kills on the A site, does it really matter?
Sleepers just take these outnumbered duels first. I mean, remember Angie had that, what, 3 or 4K in hookah? And Sleepers have already adapted, overcome that. U-Haul punctured too. They're taking these important power positions and a lot of advantages away from NRG Academy. Here comes Chloric, in a 1v3. The only thing going for him is that he's on the flank and they may not know it. Duck watching it. Protections are up thanks to Sorix. Maybe that has isolated Duck away from the flock. Prowler's not going to help anything, but Chloric is running out of time to do something about this. He may just walk into Solana accidentally, and it's an ace, and it's a tie game once again.
Here we go, 3-2-3. Now I want to take a peek at that replay to see exactly what changed. My guess is that because Sleepers were so silent until they got into U-Haul, they did catch NRG Academy off guard, and it's also surprising because Ange was all the way downstairs and didn't make contact with anybody. So they should have had some realization, but all in all, that allows them to flip the site, get the spike down, have plentiful numbers that, as we saw, Chloric was able to clutch up against. So, coming to the next, at least there's money still for both sides. There's ults for both sides, so get your free cams ready. This is going to be a spicy round.
Yeah.
Time to jump.
And then you can at least send Solana to maybe clear it off the dimensional drift info, of course. Conversion pass, no Leo will sign up for that job. Hasn't really entered the pit yet. Tanza is going to need some assistance. Here comes the army marching down through the Viper's pit, and Ange has to abandon ship, enough to at least get the pick, force the ult out of Solana, who will not be returning into the fray. 3 versus 3, just like our score line, and Sleepers still have to scale into the site. At what point do you just take the TP and leave, or just, you know, the long way? They're going to flip the map.
I am curious. I do think Renz could beat them there, and if he gets the sight line on Hookah, this op will be right place, right time. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's a sprint. Like you said, Renz finds the shot that matters.
And it's gonna go all the way. I hope he beats him again. I hope they beat him there. Oh, they're not. Okay, 35 seconds. Should get the spike down, and then it's dimensional drift since Renz is low HP. Hopefully to set Chloric up
30 seconds
for the clutch. Oh, we are using every single one on the server that we could. Wow, okay.
Yeah, good to give Sorix the plant, one away from the pit. Is this gonna be enough as Sorix steps out? I don't know about that one. Nightfall in a 2v1. Leo, 35 HP. At least the plant went down. That's all he has to work with him, and now he's dancing against danger, and it's Chloric that takes over and gives NRG the lead back.
Wow. I mean, I know I said there was gonna be a lot of ults, guys, but that mixed with just the 40 level chests we had, the mind games back and forth were crazy. And I have to give props to Sleepers in that initial clear out of the Viper's pit on the A site. They clearly overwhelmed Ange with all that util. The dimensional drift as well to take the back line support of Giza out too, who had extra delay after that orbital strike was procced to cancel the conversion pass from the waylay. It was just, again, layers on layers and led to a great round and dessert. So, and that's just for one round, Lemon Kiwi, right? 4-3, we could be up to 4-4 after this round immediately because you have a few hero rifles and still the Nightfall for Duck.
Oh my god. Taunts are kind of a jump scare, and Giza reacts well, pulls the trigger, and Sleepers will still get into showers thanks to Solana. Spike behind, usual default. You know Shondex has been camping out A and U-Hauls, so that's still a final boss that Sleepers have to take on.
I do like from Sleepers how they're waiting to punish against some of these walkdowns like we saw Sorix do up against Ange, how he thought Duck was trying to do here up against Renz. I hope they don't dry peek this. So orb goes up, they force Renz out, at least for the time being. I don't think they made contact like player to player, eye level.
Bren's playing as safe as he can. The Nightfall, he does not budge and just hopping right through the bullets. Ange will stand, and the anchor has an impact. But Sleepers will not sink yet. They'll get the plant. Snake bite in. Here's NRG Academy, already trying to get information off of Caloric. As Shondex creates a threat in Hookah. You can see this NRG crunch start to come in, and Renz has a flash, throws it out, gets vision. Solana swings solo. Surex is protecting the plant, and it's just one that remains through all the chaos. NRG Academy have Renz to thank.
And again, Renz in this operator, right? Just like one of the more flexible players I've seen with this weapon. Close fights, team fights, it doesn't matter. All right, is able to gel the situation that demands and is able to clutch out again an important round. We mentioned the back and forth, right? The 3-3, the potential 4-4 that could come. And even when they hadn't made contact with players, they knew that pop was coming. They got out of dodge. They handled it on that retake.
Because you had that big ult exchange, not last round, but the round before,
Yeah.
you're down to some bare bones Valorant. And Sleeper's not going for that showers control this time. Just kind of laying back and see what NRG Academy pull out first.
Yeah, once again, on these extremities, waiting for a player to peek out Hookah, fight down long, and Ange almost got burned for it from that pre-fire from Zorex. And now, again, you have to play the game of where's the op, and Renz this time in showers. Position, I was gonna say exposed with the Yoder. It's a great counter to that Leo dive.
Yeah, I trade the dashes for the gate crush. I think you take that if you're NRG Academy. Because now it's not going to be as fast and loose for Sleepers to get into the site. They can still play this from front to back as Tanza will be laying on it after Renz picks him off. Giza pressure showers, and the spike is down at a really bad spot because Ange is watching it. Sleepers gonna take the wins where they can, at least clear out the backside, maybe even try to access this op in heaven. Leo is on the case. Renz watches his back, but scopes in a little too late. Ange has one job, buy time for Cloric to get back. Leo has a mountain of paperwork ahead of him, and it's over just like that.
Yeah, it's really just NRG's selective swing timings there that got the edge up against Sleepers, right? I mean, Renz is just this consistent threat in the back lines, but again, it's like this wall separates the players. Usually have Sleepers as this mass force, just this tide that sweeps over the entire site, and there was a lot of just timings, a lot of players not even staring each other down as they took each other's lives. And like you mentioned, when it came down to the 2v1, Ange just tucking away safely towards the spike, waiting for Cloric and I'd regroup. And as soon as they made that contact with the spray down triple, Ange swings, gets the job done, and guarantee at least a tie at the half, looking for a lead that Sleepers need to shut down with this timeout.
And I've liked the changes that NRG Academy have done. Like we were kind of talking in the break about where we're going to see this deadlock come back and what was going to be the pivot after, well, NRG Academy lost to SAD 13-11. Most importantly, they were down 2-10 on that defensive half. And look how much better NRG Academy's defense looks now. They've won six rounds, doubling Sleeper's score. So getting rid of the deadlock is definitely part of that solution.
Yeah. Okay. Well, NRG Academy up 6-3 versus Sleepers. Honestly, I thought this was going to be the stronger half too for Sleepers, so I'm not sure what this is going to spell with another round and Nico that should go NRG Academy's way. But when all else fails, you take that dive, right? That crunch we talked about that they do time and time again and see if it works.
Leo slips past. Pass now going to the back line, checking every nook and cranny, and maybe not even full committing to that fight. Shondex is now getting toyed with. But Sleepers have taken more damage and more losses, but anything they can do here would be impressive considering it's Bucky's and Sheriffs doing all the talking here. NRG Academy keeping their distance, keeping showers, but they will have to retake. Their hand will be forced. They have to defuse the spike. And Ange on the flank gets checked. He won't be pulling off any shenanigans against this team. And Tanza and Doug, beautiful through the smoke, finding these quick kills. And now 2v1, you gotta get on this spike yesterday. And I don't know if Renz has enough time, he just doesn't. They still keep their weapons, but that's a thrifty for EP.
Wow. I mean, we just said earlier how that exact play for Sleepers might not work, as NRG Academy has seen it before, and we thought they were going to get away with it again as well, right? That shower space never cleared out, but clearly Sleepers learned their lesson, right? I love this orb to quick scale towards the spike. I like that they never directly fought these Showers players head on either. Instead took, again, the fragmented fight that the Clove Smokes offered for some weapon upgrades, and they bought that down to the bitter end, the timer, to get that thrifty through. It's a 6-4 again on the course correction route, and get to see if they can keep up the momentum, which we saw some great momentum swings on Haven.
Yeah, Sleepers need to try to close the gap in the score here, because NRG Academy is their best side has definitely been on attack on this map. As Sleepers try to get themselves the tools to vanquish this beast, and it's the convergent path now just earned from Leo after that orb. And they're heading elsewhere, and they'll leave Tanza to disrupt and keep them guessing.
Yeah. Was interested in a potential be hit there from Sleepers, just because Renz wasn't there, and I wanted to see what the anchors would look like without Renz, but does feel like Spidey senses signaling they lean away towards the lighter side, but also the delay side, like double Molly's orbital strike. So if they do invest that convergent paths, I think there's a pretty easy nullification factor for NRG Academy here.
Convergent paths to get into U-Haul. Shondek's not there this time. Help is on the way, though.
30 seconds left.
And Showers is another threat. Orbital strike from the defense to stop the plant. Sleepers in a lot of trouble. They panic, but they still stick to their guns, and that's what's worked out for this team throughout challengers. Ange will not be touched either. Showers control a last-second pivot for Sleepers. They'll get the plant off just barely. 3 versus 3.
I liked the backstab thought from Sorks there, but Ange handles it, and then they go this 3v3 retake.
Shondex. 21 HP. Giza flicks, turns, and burns. Duck will pull out the Nightfall, just earning that after the double kill. Really putting a lot of respect on Ange and that 48 HP. Like, even the dimensional drip, this is a very respectful team. Like, a little bit too much respect. But this is just the cherry on top, the guaranteed win that Sleepers needed.
Oh, yeah. We'll see the next round if it works out using both of the results, right? They need the 6 that those could have gone towards. But yeah, no, respect shown, round earned. And that was something I also saw from Sleepers, is I because they're so scrappy at times, I think this was one of the more well-coordinated rotates that we've seen out of them, right? They get onto the B side pretty easily. They set up really well around it, too. The spray down, Slaughter obviously leading the charge there, fighting into elbow. Not unexpected at all from the Sleepers mindset. But this round, we have a B long fight set up. We have a Viper's Pit towards A. They want to push these players into this exchange. They've got it.
Oh, if Renz would have lived there, Dimensional Drift would have been huge for this final round of the half. The Nightfall only delays things. Salada will be cut. This keeps NRG Academy guessing, though, while Sleepers are very limited on their options after that, taking that L at B long.
Okay. So the gate crash there as well, so I do like Clork scaling down here. It would punish the B pivot. Iza usually has survived when they actually exit out of Showers just by tucking, playing the smoke timing. See if he can do it again, because yeah, they are challenging this Viper's Pit once again, tooth and nail, and winning it effortlessly.
Perfect for Leo. Ange was trying to step away. He gets found out. Now here's the Uno reverse card. A pit to cover the spike. NRG Academy gonna have to sandwich this one in, but as solo heroes, it's not gonna be enough. And Sleepers may just get away with tying our game up once again. Both these teams have been exchanging punches throughout this series. NRG Academy are going to have to pull off some heroics to get back in the driver's seat here on the attack.
I mean, they switched away again from a Sentinel comp into this, so defense ending 6-6, not too shabby for NRG Academy. Also, Sleepers apparently did not need the 2 ultimates to get their 6th round. We got the answer for that. And honestly, it comes out of their fearlessness, right? I feel like, much like Rinkers, much like the NV, they just don't care who's on the other side of the server. You still have Leo diving in fearlessly into a pit. You still have a lot of fighting deep into spawn, and that caught NRG Academy off at times and overwhelmed even star players like Ange, who was at the top of the leaderboard, 12-7. So we'll see what they can do on their lurk plays, or if Sleepers can survive what this composition offers are these similarly strong dive execs.
Oh, the quick swing out from Sorex. I love that shot. Sheriff hurts. First blood for Sleepers. Taking matters into their own hands.
And they're gone.
NRG Academy have Chloric that can try to lead that charge. He bought some light armor too, so he's got some main character energy right now. But wait, Shondex is kind of solo. Split off because of the Viper's wall. And Duck is keeping everyone else at bay. Shondex, was he used as bait? NRG Academy don't really have an answer or a trade. They just sacrifice Shondex. They're a little bit stuck at the entryway. And it's an exchange. It's not really helping NRG Academy's case. Have these small lapses. Who takes the pistol here is going to generate some serious momentum. And for Sleepers, to head towards the end of that series, there's the plant from Renz. Ange doing what he can on the right side. Another flank for Sleepers. Ange punishing Solana in his own smoke. NRG Academy don't have any safe space. It's just dancing around cover is the only luck they have. And it's Sleepers with the pistol.
It felt like every step of that round, Sleepers knew what was happening and had pretty decent control over the situation, right? I mean, they go from that great opening TP play to immediately getting back to defensive positions with that 3A split, and these two players did a great job already anchoring the side. I mean, Duck takes 2. That's all you really can ask from a Fade, especially. And then the rotations come through for the retake, and it looked really nice to get the lead back. To continue that momentum they've established with a 3 to cap off the last half, so see what NRG Academy have cooked up for their eco, but it should be an 8th for Sleepers, and then we get to the territory of, okay, are we gonna get any 3rd round conversion shenanigans?
NRG Academy just taking a look at Hookah, being a bit more aware and conditioned that Sleepers can just double swing out, and that was a huge part of setting the tone for that pistol. NRG Academy definitely need to support Shondex, and Ange doesn't need support. I mean, he gets that first pick, gets everyone frantic over on the A side. The defense is split 2-2, but you need NRG Academy to not hesitate. And actually, even Shondex gets tagged through the wall. He's 3 HP.
And he tried to fake that they were rotating. Prowler, though, comes through. Now they have to commit to it before the double controllers really made their way down short either off of this toxic screen. And even if they did, look what's waiting on the other side. Leo with a Bucky.
Yeah, Leo is going to be an important anchor. What is Solana cooking now? He is so relentless. It's just like a wasp, and he tries to sting, and NRG Academy swat him away. And they feel in charge of the site, but as the smoke no longer sections the site, Renz takes a peek, takes a shot to the dome, and Sleepers regain control of the situation, much needed. Chloric, the spike he can maybe recover, but oh yeah,
honestly,
what is he cooking?
Win con is Chloric needs to get that spike and get through the teleporter, right? And then let Shondex play this timing, and that's exactly what they do. 12 seconds left. The Bucky tracks him through the TP, and all plans are out the window. I saw the vision.
I see the vision.
And Leo says, no more vision.
No more vision. Just sleep.
And they force Shondex to save a sheriff. That's just brutal as well. To the longevity for the chances at getting your 3rd off your first rifle round. I mean, I will say, Duck this map has been really, really clean. Just holding his own, 16-9. There it is, right? He has to go for a Bucky because he can't afford a rifle. That hurts.
It does feel bad. And is this the tipping point for sleepers? They can convert this bonus. This would be everything. And to beat one of the best teams in challengers, honestly, that would make them one of the best teams in challengers. They're definitely in that top 3 consideration. Well, they're not technically not the first team in playoffs, I guess. No A+ for you, NRG Academy. Look how much they're respecting sleepers, like staying further back at B long, letting the Prowler going max distance to get as much information as possible.
Yeah, so you're trying to invite them in B long so that you invite them in hookah into Leo, right? And Leo should at least be able to find one. We'll see if Giza can get the trade.
Patience from Leo until Giza runs out of his. And how you fry through hookah? You just have one left. Quick reaction from Renz. You're up by 1. Important person is still left on this field, and it's Duck. Some util to assess the situation. Now you've not even going through the front door, wrapping around through elbow. That's the thing that's not smoked currently. Giza's watching it, and only a bit of damage. Wait, this is scary. Sleepers are working their way back in. And it's Sorix 1v2. Renz is a dimensional drift, but you really just need to spam the spike. And Sorix was waiting, and Renz says, hold this.
Yeah, 4K to keep them in the game after a bonus that could have easily slipped away from mistakes even from the last round haunting them. And honestly, I was internally freaking out watching that round pan out, right? You have Giza, who could have peeked that for info and then retucked into hookah. Not quite sure if he had mollies left or anything to play the post. But then Ange makes a similar mistake, thinking maybe he had the timing. I'm not quite sure. And whew, it all comes down to Renz, and I guess in Ren's NRG Academy trust, where he was snake bitten off, it's just, at the end of the day, not enough gas left in the chamber to keep that wall up, to keep that clutch attempt alive, so...
Ooh! Renz is dead there. He was setting up for a dimensional drift play, so that's one win condition gone for NRG Academy. They have to be aware of these sleepers hookah swings, and obviously haven't gone for it since maybe the pistol, but gotta be always having your head on a swivel. No one's really gotten away with too many multi-kills this map. Everyone's really mechanically on point.
Yeah, it does feel like NRG Academy, though, are underestimating sleepers a little bit, right? You mentioned not expecting the hookah swing, right? There, we once again have kind of a dry peek from Shondex. And I think that's where some of these difficulties may lay. And that's where the potential of a 2-0 is growing. I do like this surprise element, but I don't think you expect to in the brim smoke.
As the NRG Academy just have one defender to face, so if they could take this fight quickly, they may be able to even up their odds. But reinforcements have arrived. Duck has delayed for long enough until he falls. He lays the Nightfall down the last second, but NRG Academy safe enough to plant within the box. And I'm worried about this peak. He gets punished. Solana and Leo clean things up to get Sleepers a 2-round lead.
The operators are covered too, so trophy on the success as they get up to 9, and yeah, that's a difficult position to be in, right? I understand Andrew wanting to swing, again, you're down numbers, but it felt like there maybe was a plan to double swing off the C's that we kind of saw Cloric follow through on after the fact, so again, what could have been, but NRG Academy, they're just losing too many numbers in these early rounds, and while they're able to remedy enough to get onto the sites, it's still not enough to close things out, right? Again, that Sleeper is staying one step ahead. So NRG Academy, first time out of the map. Mind you, Sleepers have used both of theirs in what's already a close game. So where does the solution come from? Playing slower, waiting for these contact fights, punishing them, trapping them, Lemon Kiwi?
Just not a cute buy for NRG Academy, so I think you're starting to pray to a god that you believe in of how do you stop Sleepers from getting to double digits? And do you even invest the dimensional drift with the hero rifle there? That your guess is as good as mine. Maybe it is just Orb Farm Simulator. See if you can get Nightfall for Cloric and go for more of the long game, while can you cause enough panic from into Sleepers that they invest their ultimates? Because you saw how they're willing to invest 2 ults into a 2v1. So yeah, Sleepers can definitely be reactionary in these moments.
This round, I maybe would have hoped that Renz gives the hero rifle to someone else and uses Dimension Rift to get himself a gun. And I think you can use the Nightfall, I agree, to win this round, but all in all, they just need to be ready that Sleepers is fighting as soon as the barrier drops. And being I would say a little bit more committal with this info util, the clone, the prowlers. But for now, cards shown, Haunt out of shower to get the op on the line, and they're taking a page out of Leo's scrapbook. Send a shotgun into U-Haul, but there's a shotgun waiting for them.
Solana is just the final boss, man. He is proving how valuable this clove can really be. And NRG Academy, you know, bought a Bucky, bought some light armor. We're maybe trying to pull off some miracles with Shondex getting up with the Bucky. And it was really riding the whole round, felt like it rode on Shondex, and if he could get something going there, but hard cope pull that off. Sleepers now double digits. Is this the point where they run away with it? NRG Academy have only won one round this half.
I mean, aside from the one round this half, we think back to Haven too, right? Where it hit around this point after a really close game, and then, like you mentioned, Sleepers run away with things and close the map out. Momentum monsters, but I do think the ults are here. The timeout was there. Only difficulty are the light and regen shields, and this ratty corner to avoid info util. Hansa. Oh, if he tucked, you might not have seen him, but now, I mean, it's all come down to Ren's Dimensional Drift, and if they can get into this B site without losing life.
Yeah, Dimensional Drift, Nightfall, NRG Academy, everything but the kitchen sink, and everybody but Ren's. And that is a huge part of this attack, is setting up Renz for success. He dropped 20 kills on Haven, and he's been silenced in an important round. And Duck with the big double evens things up, and he's going for more at half HP. Giza will still have a say. And the offensive pit could protect them, but they don't even use it. They get ahead of themselves, and Sorix clutches for Sleepers.
Oh, and that's the round that I think is gonna break the spirit for NRG Academy, right? You finally get into the B site with numbers. We're an even game as it dwindled down to the 2v2, and then that happens. I honestly thought we were gonna see Duck also find a masterclass shot onto Giza and survive. So again, some missed timings. It felt like every step of the way, right? A little bit overcommitment before the Nightfall comes in, a little bit of overcommitment before the Viper's Pit comes in. I think they were worried, especially because of the additional players that kept swinging, that there was just more and more Sleepers ready to awaken from the back sites, and I mean, they were right and lost the fight. So now they're still just gnawing at that B site.
Oh, Sorix trying to help Tanza stay in this, but wait, he sees. Okay, he can still get out. Gate crash doesn't bring him back to B. But NRG Academy don't know that. Leo with a cutoff opportunity, and ooh. Giza needs a band-aid, but his armor took the brunt of that. Ren's 5 HP, Chloric 5 HP. You need kills if you're NRG Academy, or EEPY are gonna get to match point.
Yeah, I think Ange needs to be the one to open up this site, and it could be gifted to him if Leo loses this fight. That's the big if. Now you have nobody healthy left, and that's easy pickings for Solana.
Just a firing squad. Oh, jeez. And for this to be a near flawless, the economy, it's as good as it gets for Sleepers. And NRG Academy
30 seconds
never
left.
really got to stabilize in this half. No matter how many good buys, the ults, I think it'll all come down to Shondex in this Convergent Paths next round. And even then, you have to play flawless, and they're out of timeouts.
10 seconds.
All right, they used Dimensional Drift, a 48 HP Ange. Do they use it for a 5 HP Chloric? I don't think so, but we'll see. Making it look like 3K from Hookah. I like this idea because of the clone. So now hopefully Duck can swing unimpeded out of elbow, but I think it's a little bit late for that. Everyone's just on site. Chloric's just playing down the Hopium.
NRG Academy is just kind of using this as a pseudo timeout of how do you win the next bazillion rounds? Because this is Sleeper's map pick, and I was saying in the first half hour, NRG Academy's attack was the best part of them. Because when they went up against SAD, they were down 2 and 10 having a really rough defense, and then they came back. Still lost 13-11, but made up for so many of those rounds on their attack. And this was a shifted composition for NRG Academy, and it has come down to just a lot of these 1v1 kind of mechanical things where Sleepers are just on it today.
No, absolutely. They're a team that, again, you don't know what to expect. They could upset the best of the best, and they are one round away from a spot in playoffs. From NRG Academy, was undefeated and has now lost 2 series back to back, being gate-kept from the finish line.
Look at this push through mid from Sleepers. NRG Academy not having their lurk. Oh, Shondex just gets killed mid-voice line of his ultimate. This is not how you wanted this round to start. Your win condition has been killed. Dimensional drip from Tonza. He's gonna know what you're planning, what you think before you've even executed. And the real executioners are Sleepers. Friends, the MVP of the last map gets put to bed, and Sleepers will take the series and advance to playoffs.